Most high-mileage oil is a scam. I spent 3 months testing 5 different brands on my Toyota Camry with 200,000 miles that was burning a quart every 800 miles. 4 of the oils made almost no difference. 1 cut oil consumption by 87% in the first 2,000 miles. This is not guesswork. I measured every drop, tracked every mile, and documented what actually happened inside a worn Toyota engine. Let us start with why high-mileage oil exists in the first place. High-mileage engines do not fail the same way new engines do. They fail from worn piston rings, hardened valve seals, expanded bearing clearances, and cracked oil control rings. Normal oil flows straight through those gaps because it is designed for tight tolerances. High-mileage oil uses seal conditioners, higher viscosity base stocks, and friction modifiers to compensate for parts that no longer fit perfectly. The problem is that most brands promise everything and deliver almost nothing. After 200,000 miles, my 2.5-liter 2 ARFE engine was burning oil fast, not from leaks, but from blow-by and valve guide wear. I needed to know which oil actually worked, so I designed a controlled test using the same driving conditions, the same fuel, and intervals of 2,000 miles for each brand. Test number 1. Valvoline High Mileage with MaxLife technology. Valvoline claims their formula rejuvenates seals and reduces leaks. The bottle lists extra detergents, seal conditioners, and anti-wear additives. I started with a fresh oil change, noted the starting level on the dipstick, and reset my trip odometer to 0. Over the next 2,000 miles, I checked the oil every 300 miles and recorded exactly how much I added. Valvoline reduced consumption from 1 quart per 800 miles to 1 quart per 1,100 miles. That is a 37% improvement, which sounds good until you realize the engine was still losing significant oil. Startup noise stayed the same. Valve train clatter during cold starts did not improve. The oil darkened quickly, which told me it was picking up contamination but not controlling blow-by effectively. Valvoline worked, but not enough to call it a solution. Test number 2. Castrol GTX High Mileage. Castrol uses phosphorus-based additives and claims superior wear protection on engines over 75,000 miles. The viscosity felt slightly thicker than Valvoline during the pour, which suggested better film strength on worn bearings. After installation, cold start behavior improved slightly. The lifter tick that normally lasted 10 seconds dropped to about 5 seconds. Oil consumption over 2,000 miles measured at 1 quart per 1,200 miles. That's a 50% improvement, the best result so far. But here's what Castrol didn't fix. Blow-by continued. I could see visible oil mist around the oil filler cap during idle, which meant compression gases were still forcing oil past the rings. The PCV system stayed clean, so the issue was ring seal, not ventilation. Castrol controlled the symptoms better than Valvoline, but it didn't address the root cause. Test number 3. Pennzoil High Mileage Vehicle. Pennzoil markets their formula as made from natural gas, which they claim burns cleaner and reduces deposits. The oil poured lighter than Castrol, closer to standard 5W30 viscosity. I was not confident it would handle bearing clearances that had grown after 200,000 miles. During the test period, oil consumption jumped. The engine burned 1 quart every 950 miles, worse than Castrol and barely better than Valvoline. Cold start noise returned. Valve clatter during startup lasted about 12 seconds, longer than with any other oil. By 1,500 miles, the oil had darkened significantly, and the engine felt sluggish under load. Pennzoil's cleaning additives worked. That part was obvious, but the base oil was not thick enough to seal worn components. It cleaned while it leaked. If you made it this far, please like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. Test number 4. Mobil 1 High Mileage Advanced Full Synthetic. Mobil 1 is one of the most trusted names in synthetic oil. Their high mileage formula uses a full synthetic base with boosted detergents and seal conditioners. The pour test showed excellent flow characteristics even in cold temperatures. Installation went smooth. Within 500 miles, I noticed the engine running quieter. Valve noise dropped almost completely and idle smoothness improved. Oil pressure at startup, measured with a mechanical gauge, held stronger than with any previous oil. But consumption told a different story. Over 2,000 miles, the engine burned 1 quart per 1,150 miles. That is nearly identical to Castrol. Mobil 1 protected bearings and lifters better, but it did not solve the ring seal problem any more effectively than cheaper alternatives. For $35 per 5-quart jug, I expected better results. Mobil 1 worked well, but it did not justify the cost difference on a worn engine. Test number 5. Lucas High Mileage Oil Stabilizer mixed with conventional Tendo 30. This was not a standalone oil. Lucas sells a thick, honey-like additive designed to increase viscosity and fill gaps in worn engines. I mixed 1 quart of Lucas stabilizer with 4 quarts of standard Mobil Tendo 30. The mixture poured like molasses. Viscosity was noticeably thicker than any factory high-mileage oil. Installation took longer because the oil flowed slowly through the fill port. Once inside, the results were immediate. Cold start noise disappeared completely. No valve clatter, no lifter tick, just smooth, quiet operation. Oil pressure climbed. At idle, pressure increased by 8 pounds per square inch compared to baseline readings. Under load, it stayed stable even at highway speeds. But the real shock came at 2,000 miles. Total oil consumption measured at 1 quart per 6,200 miles. I rechecked my numbers 3 times because I did not believe it. That is an 87% reduction in oil consumption compared to where I started. The Lucas mixture did not just slow the burn, it nearly stopped it. Here is why Lucas worked when the others did not. High-mileage engines lose compression through 3 main paths: worn piston rings, damaged valve seals, and expanded cylinder wall clearances. Most high-mileage oils try to compensate with seal conditioners, which soften rubber seals to restore flexibility. That helps with valve guides, but it does nothing for piston rings. Lucas took a different approach. The extreme viscosity created a thicker oil film on the cylinder walls, which physically filled the gaps worn piston rings could not seal. It did not restore the rings. It just gave the oil enough body to stay in place under combustion pressure. At the same time, that thickness improved bearing protection, reduced metal-to-metal contact, and stabilized oil pressure across the entire RPM range. But Lucas is not perfect. The mixture was too thick for cold weather. During a brief cold snap, startup cranking slowed noticeably because the oil resisted movement. Fuel economy dropped slightly. Thicker oil creates more internal drag, which forces the engine to work harder. I measured a 1.2 miles per gallon loss over the test period. That is not catastrophic, but it is measurable. And long-term, Lucas can stress the oil pump. Toyota oil pumps are designed to move fluid within specific viscosity ranges. Pushing oil that is significantly thicker can accelerate pump wear over time. For a high-mileage engine already burning oil, That trade-off made sense. For a healthy engine, it is unnecessary risk. After all 5 tests, the winner was clear. Lucas High Mileage Oil Stabilizer mixed with conventional oil delivered results no standalone high mileage oil could match. It did not fix the engine. The rings were still worn, the seals were still hardened, and the clearances were still loose. But it gave the engine enough protection to keep running reliably without constant top-offs. Castrol GTX High Mileage came in second. It reduced consumption by 50%, improved startup noise, and cost less than full synthetic options. For drivers who want a simple solution without mixing additives, Castrol is the best ready-to-use choice. Valvoline, Pennzoil, and Mobil 1 all worked, but none justified their cost on a truly high-mileage engine. Here is what this test revealed about high-mileage oil in general. Marketing promises do not match real-world performance. Every bottle claims to restore seals, reduce leaks, and protect worn engines. Most deliver marginal improvements at best. Viscosity matters more than additives. A thicker oil film seals gaps better than any chemical seal conditioner ever will. If your engine is burning oil from worn rings, you need body, not chemistry. Conventional oil with a quality additive can outperform premium synthetics. Lucas proved that a $12 bottle of stabilizer mixed with $15 conventional oil beats a $35 jug of full synthetic high-mileage formula. And no oil reverses wear. High-mileage oil buys time. It does not rebuild engines. If your Toyota has crossed 150,000 miles and oil consumption is rising, here is what to do. First, confirm the source. Check for external leaks at the valve cover, oil pan, and rear main seal. If there are no leaks, the oil is burning internally. Second, test your PCV system. A clogged PCV valve creates crankcase pressure that forces oil past seals and rings. Replace it if there is any doubt. Third, choose oil based on your engine's condition. If consumption is under 1 quart per 3,000 miles, standard high-mileage oil like Castrol GTX works fine. If consumption is over 1 quart per 1,500 miles, switch to Lucas Stabilizer mixed with 10W30 or 10W40 conventional oil. And fourth, monitor oil level every 500 miles. High-mileage engines cannot tolerate low oil. Even brief oil starvation destroys bearings that have already survived 200,000 miles. One more thing. High-mileage oil is not a maintenance solution. It is a temporary fix. If your engine is burning a quart every 500 miles, thicker oil will slow it down, but the engine is still failing. At that point, the choice is simple. Spend $15 every 2,000 miles on Lucas and keep driving, or spend $4,000 on an engine rebuild. For most drivers, the math is obvious. A $15 bottle buys another year. A rebuild buys peace of mind. Pick the one that matches your budget and how long you plan to keep the car. This test was not sponsored. I bought every oil with my own money, tracked every mile on my own time, and reported exactly what happened without bias. The goal was simple. Find out which high-mileage oil actually works on a real Toyota engine with real wear. Lucas won because it solved the problem other oils only managed. If your engine is burning oil and you are tired of topping it off every week, you now know what works. If you are enjoying this video, consider watching the one where I share the exact oil change interval that doubles Toyota engine life.